So here's everything we used when we created Holly's hair yesterday. And I just want you guys to see how much product and knowledge and education and thought goes into creating something. So this is why we charge what we charge. And that's a separate video and a separate lesson. But I just wanted to point out the multitude of product, cost, and knowledge to create one single look. This is my model Holly. And we're gonna do a little bit of color redirecting. Her hair's a little bit on the busy side. If we look at it, we can see some warmth. The lights are hitting it in a much warmer way than it actually is, but it's pretty golden. And we're gonna redirect a few things. Let me see if I can part the hair for you. I kind of like a lot of the natural color that's running through there. So I'm gonna actually do a Malibu crystal gel. I want to remove some overlapped tones and porosity issues. And I think we're gonna do like some root stretching and kind of just redirect this whole look and make it a little bit more natural. And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna kind of surf the color wave on this one. What we're gonna do is we're gonna clarify Holly and do our crystal gel. Get some yummy Malibu sea crystal gel in the hair. This is your best friend when you want to prep the hair. I don't think she needs a CPR. That's much more aggressive for color removal. But this is going to prep the canvas and shift some things around so that we can get a better tonality and clarity of things. It's common, the hair gets stressed out, it gets lightened, porosity sets in, and tones start to grab in unusual ways. She's got plenty of lightness in here, so we're gonna work with that and just create something really natural and less busy. All right, so we finished our crystal gel. We have some almost dry hair to work on, but we still have a little bit of dampness in there, just so that we're not working bone dry or completely saturating wet. I've mixed a demi-permanent color, level 7, double ash, a little bit of violet, so that we can calm this brass down and stretch these roots a little bit and create a much more natural effect to everything. So I'm just laying in this root color right now all over, and then when we come back I'll show you the next step. Alright, so I've got a stretched root with that 7 level cool toned color that we talked about. I have a little product here that I like to use. It's just a porosity equalizer that I'm going to spray all through this hair liberally. And then what I've mixed, instead of going in with lightener, because she's pretty light, but I'm looking to just shift a few things around, is I've mixed a high lift blonde with something called clear. I work with a color line that has a clear in a tube that allows you to give whatever you're working with some extra lift by 1 to a full level, by a half to a full level. And so I've actually got this clear mixed with this high lift blonde, and we're gonna start to pull that through and really melt these colors together. So we'll have the extended root into something lighter, and it'll also help cool her off in the interim. All right, so I've applied the high lift blonde with that clear. It's like a clear high lift blonde with a high lift blonde. I mixed those two together, and you can already see that the high lift blonde is actually starting to manipulate the existing color. You can see that it's slightly getting lighter, but it's also helping to erase some lines and melt into that base color. What I've done is I've carved out the sides where I want to have a little bit more emphasis, and we're going to go in with some clay lightener and just paint through there, just so these sides are a little bit more popped than what's happening back here. But you can see that they're lightening and they're getting a little bit creamier, and this is going to be a really nice soft natural look for her. All right, so what I'm doing now on these side panels is I'm just taking a little bit of clay lightener with some Olaplex and just working that in because I want to have the lighter emphasis around her face. And so I'm just etching that in, melting it right into these ends. And this will all process open air. This is a lot of what I call tonal manipulation, tonal shifting. This is what I teach in my classes, how to harness the tones that are already there, use them to your advantage, and it saves a lot of work and a lot of time. So I'm really just etching this in just to emphasize these sides, and then I'm going to show you a really cool trick for the remainder that we already did. I'm going to do this side here. Whoop, we're spinning, baby. We're spinning. Woo! Just etch those right all the way in. Let them fuse and melt. There's a lot of great techniques out there, a lot of really cool tricks, a lot of great artists doing some amazing things. And I'm all about making color simple and not too complicated. And so my classes focus on how to understand the theory behind it so that you can work smarter, not harder. So I'm literally just taking that clay lightener and working that through and etching it up in here just to melt those colors together. Now we said we already had this high lift blonde running through the bottom that's working to our advantage, but we can also pop that a little bit at the very ends with the lightener and just mesh those in together too, just to give her an overall nicer effect. So you've got that level 7 melted into a high lift blonde, melted into a little bit of lightener at the bottom. And so this will just give those little bit of extra pops at the bottom because everybody likes to see that little bit of extra lightness going on at the bottom. And I've got some Olaplex running through everything that I'm doing so that we're protecting the hair. And we've got some porosity equalizer. We said we used the number 2. We used Malibu. So we're really like working through the colorist's toolbox to preserve and create at the same time. And that's why, you know, we're working with these companies. And I want to thank all the people out there who've turned the industry on to all these really neat and cool things. So I'm just taking the remainder of this clay lightener and literally melting it into the ends with that high lift blonde. I know it sounds crazy, but it is going to look really nice when it's all said and done. Great.